Sit tight, because what I'm about to share with you is a bone-chilling tale that still haunts my every waking moment, a personal experience that defies explanation. It all unfolded during a camping trip in the remote woods, the kind of place where the rustling leaves and distant animal calls are your only companions. As night fell, a dense fog rolled in, cloaking the trees in an eerie haze. Unsettling, yes, but we were seasoned campers, unafraid of the dark. That night, around the campfire, a sense of unease settled upon us. It wasn't the usual rustlings of nocturnal creatures. It was something more ominous, an inexplicable tension that clung to the air. We laughed it off, attributing it to the wild imaginations that often accompany stories shared around the fire. As we settled into our tents, the forest's nocturnal symphony played its usual tunes. Yet, beneath the familiar sounds, there was a discordant note, a rhythmic tapping, like footsteps on fallen leaves. I brushed it off as an animal, convincing myself it was a harmless creature going about its nocturnal routine. But the tapping persisted, growing louder and closer. My curiosity turned to dread when it circled our campsite, always just beyond the reach of our flashlights. Heart pounding, I unzipped the tent, expecting to catch a glimpse of the intruder. To my horror, there was nothing, just the impenetrable fog and the oppressive darkness. I shared uneasy glances with my friends, who were equally unnerved by the inexplicable presence that seemed to encircle us. We debated packing up and leaving, but an unseen force rooted us in place. As the night wore on, the tapping morphed into a low, guttural growl. It reverberated through the trees, sending shivers down our spines. Panic set in as we realized we were not alone in those woods. Frantic whispers filled the air as we struggled to comprehend the source of our terror. Suddenly, the forest fell silent, a deafening hush that gripped us in a vice. The fog thickened, obscuring our surroundings. Then, emerging from the mist, a figure materialized, a silhouette with hollow eyes, barely visible through the fog. It moved toward us, each step echoing like a drumbeat in the silence. Frozen in fear, we watched as the figure reached the edge of our campfire's glow. Its features remained obscured, a shapeless entity that defied the laws of nature. Time stood still as we faced the unknown, paralyzed by the malevolence that emanated from this spectral presence. In the blink of an eye, the figure dissipated into the fog, leaving us in a stunned silence. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the forest resumed its nightly symphony. We wasted no time dismantling our camp, haunted by the encounter that defied all rational explanation. To this day, the memory of that night lingers, a chilling reminder that in the heart of the wilderness, there are forces that defy comprehension, forces that can reach out from the shadows and leave an indelible mark on the soul.
Gather round, my friends, as I unveil a tale that will weave its tendrils into the fabric of your nightmares, a story that unfolded in the shadowy realm where reality blurs and the ordinary takes a sinister turn. It began innocently enough, with a peculiar antique doll that found its way into my possession. Its porcelain visage bore an unsettling resemblance to a child's innocent features, yet its eyes exuded an uncanny malevolence that unsettled even the bravest souls. Ignoring the subtle warning signs, I kept the doll on a dusty shelf in my room. As the nights descended into an inky darkness, peculiar occurrences unfolded. Whispers echoed through the silence, and the air grew thick with an oppressive energy. I dismissed these as figments of an overactive imagination until the doll's position began to shift subtly, a mere fraction of an inch each night. Curiosity twisted into dread as I awoke to find the doll at the foot of my bed, its porcelain gaze fixated on me. I attributed it to sleepwalking, despite the gnawing feeling that something far more sinister was at play. Determined to unravel the mystery, I set up a camera to document the doll's nocturnal escapades. Upon reviewing the footage, a chill crept down my spine. The doll, animated by an unseen force, crawled with a grotesque, unnatural grace across the floor. It whispered in an otherworldly tongue, its porcelain limbs contorting in ways that defied the laws of physics. Fear paralyzed me as I witnessed an inanimate object become a vessel for an otherworldly presence. Haunted by this revelation, I delved into the doll's history, uncovering a dark past intertwined with tragedy and malevolence. Legend spoke of a cursed toy crafted by a tormented artisan, seeking revenge from beyond the grave. Skepticism eroded as the doll's insidious influence seeped into every corner of my life. Sleep became elusive as nightmares blurred with waking reality. The doll's whispers taunted my sanity, and its hollow eyes followed my every move. Desperation led me to seek the aid of paranormal experts, who confirmed the supernatural aura clinging to the cursed artifact. Attempts to rid myself of the doll proved futile. It reappeared each time in a more prominent and unsettling location. The sinister whispers escalated into guttural demands, as if the very essence of the cursed artisan sought retribution through the vessel of its creation. In a final act of desperation, I consigned the doll to flames, watching its porcelain form twist and distort in the heat. Yet as the flames consumed it, a blood-curdling wail echoed, chilling me to the core. The cursed entity, it seemed, refused to be extinguished. To this day, I am tormented by the spectral echoes of that doll, a ghastly reminder that some horrors transcend the realm of imagination, manifesting in the tangible shadows that lurk just beyond the veil of our understanding. Beware the innocuous objects that beckon from the periphery, for they may harbor a darkness that hungers for the taste of your very soul. As the moon cast an ethereal glow over the desolate town, I stumbled upon an antiquated video game cartridge at a thrift store, the kind that whispered of forgotten secrets and haunted nostalgia. The label simply read, "The Abyss, play at your own risk." Intrigued and undeterred by the ominous warning, I dusted off my vintage console and inserted the mysterious cartridge. The screen flickered to life with pixelated darkness, and an unsettling melody echoed through the room. The game's protagonist, a shadowy figure with hollow eyes, embarked on a journey into the pixelated unknown. As I navigated the surreal landscapes, an unshakable unease settled in. The game seemed to mock my every move, anticipating my actions with an eerie precision. Distorted whispers emanated from the speakers, weaving a narrative that blurred the line between the digital realm and my reality. The further I delved into the abyss, the more the game's malevolence manifested. Disturbing glitches warped the pixelated world, a twisted reflection of my own fears. Faces contorted into grotesque masks, and the once innocuous music transformed into dissonant chords that grated on my sanity. As the game's challenges grew more insidious, a pervasive sense of dread clung to me like a suffocating shroud. The protagonist's hollow-eyed gaze seemed to pierce through the screen, a silent judgment from the digital abyss. Sleep became a fleeting luxury as the game invaded my dreams, blurring the boundaries between the waking world and the pixelated nightmare. In a desperate attempt to break free from the game's grip, I tried to power off the console, only to be met with defiance. The screen flickered, and the protagonist, now a malevolent entity, emerged from the digital confines, a pixelated specter haunting my every waking moment. Terrified and trapped in a nightmarish loop, I sought answers about the cursed game. Local lore whispered of a disgraced game developer who poured his anguish into the code, a digital purgatory that ensnared unsuspecting players. The only escape, it seemed, lay in confronting the malevolent entity within the game itself. Armed with a sense of grim determination, I faced the final confrontation. The screen pulsed with an otherworldly energy as the protagonist and I locked eyes. The pixelated abyss seemed to devour reality itself. In an instant, the room plunged into darkness. The game console hummed with an unholy resonance, and the disembodied whispers crescendoed into a cacophony of spectral voices. Then, silence. As my senses returned, I found myself alone in the dimly lit room. The game console, now lifeless, mocked my futile attempts to comprehend the surreal nightmare that had unfolded. The abyss had taken its toll, leaving me with an indelible scar, a haunting reminder that in the realm of forgotten relics and digital malevolence, some nightmares are best left undisturbed.